Welcome to Sectional Title with SDBB. I'm Rivka Hoyi. When you purchase in sectional title, it's important to understand certain terminology and some phrases because they impact on your rights and responsibilities and obligations in a sectional title scheme. The first phrase I want to discuss is the participation quota, or the PQ. The participation quota determines your share in the co-ownership of the common property. Remember, when you're a registered owner in a sectional title scheme, you not only just own your section, but you also automatically own an undivided share in the common property. So the participation quota is the calculation of what your share is. And how it's calculated is based on your extent of your and size of your section. So for example, if you own in a sectional title complex of 4 units and you own section 1 and your section is 300 square meters in extent, sections 2 and 3 are 250 square meters each, and section 4 is 200 square meters. Your 300 square meter flat is part of a total of 1,000 square meters, which is all for the sizes of all 4 sections. So the participation quota is calculated as your 300 square meters divided by the 1,000 square meter total, multiply that by 100 to get you the 30%, and that's reflected to 4 decimal points. So your 30% is reflected as a participation quota of 0.3000. Okay. That participation quota is really important for you to understand your voting rights, and also on the flip side, the extent to which you're liable for levies, which is the payment that you make to the body corporate to maintain, insure, and secure the common property. So, of course, by definition, that means that if you've got a higher PQ, you have a stronger voting right where vote by value is required, but then too, your levies would be higher than someone who's got a smaller flat. You also have to bear in mind that your responsibility extends to the finances of the whole of the body corporate. When you're a registered owner in a sectional title complex, it means that you, together with all the registered owners, make up a body called the body corporate. If the body corporate goes bankrupt, your participation quota will determine the percentage of debts of the body corporate that you would be liable for. So bear that in mind. The second phrase that you need to understand really well is the right of extension. When a developer developed the scheme, he would have registered his sectional plan at the deeds office. And that plan will depict how many units or how many sections or buildings he was planning to build in the first place for a number of reasons. They could be financial, economic, strategic reasons. He plans to only build some of the planned units and reserve a right to build the rest of the units in the future. That right gets reserved and registered at the deeds office, but it's not a blanket right. The developer has to notify the deeds office exactly what he's planning to build in future, how long he's going to take to build, and all sorts of other documentation that accompanies that right. Once that right is registered, the clock starts ticking as to how long he's got to register and fulfill and build the required units. So if he is registered a right for the next 20 years and you come along and buy in year 18, he's still got 2 more years to build. And it's very important when you buy in sectional title to understand exactly what the right entails, what it looks like. Is he going to be building horizontally? Is he going to be building vertically? You think you're buying the penthouse, but actually he's reserved the right to build another unit upstairs. Or you look out over lawns and actually there's potentially another building with 10 units going to be built on that lawn. So it's to protect purchasers, it's been legislated that every deed of sale of sectional title has to reflect that the right to extend by the developer has been disclosed to every purchaser, and you as the purchaser would then definitely have to acknowledge that that right's been disclosed to you and that you acknowledge it and you're happy to go ahead with the sale and tech transfer of that unit. What happens practically is that if you're interested in purchasing in sectional title, you'd certainly get hold of one of us at STBB as conveyancers, and we'll do the necessary search for you at the deeds office. We'll check the schedule of conditions and make sure that the right to extend either has lapsed or that it does exist, and we'll explain all the rights that go along with that. The third and most important term that you need to understand in sectional title are levies. There are two kinds of levies. There are ordinary levies and special levies. Ordinary levies depict your everyday maintenance expenses as a member of the body corporate. As I said, all registered owners are members of this entity called the body corporate, and the body corporate has to maintain, insure, and secure the common property. So that would mean there's a security guard on the premises. There's an electric fence that needs to be maintained. There's a swimming pool that's got to be kept clear. And a garden service needs to be employed. All of those expenses are equally shared, or according to your participation quota, they're shared between all the owners, and you're billed in the form of a levy statement. Special levies arise when there's an extraordinary expense. For example, lightning strikes a tree, the tree falls over on the boundary wall, taking down the electric fence as well. That's an expense that no one foresaw, and so a special levy would need to be raised to attend to all the repairs and the damages that were caused. There's been legislative change in terms of the sectional title scheme's management, in terms of which every body corporate now has to have a reserve fund or a kitty so that money is set aside for extraordinary expenses. That sort of forced forward planning and budgeting on the part of a body corporate, and you would then know, for example, if you've got a lift in your building, you would need to forward plan and know that, okay, that lift needs maintenance within the next 5 years, or that swimming pool will need to be relined in year 8. And so this reserve fund or kitty is established so that money is set aside for that. So hopefully this new legislative change will alleviate the need for a special levy, but the law does make provision that if an extraordinary expense does arise, a special levy can be imposed, and like the levies that are determined pro rata according to your participation quota, so too the special levy will be apportioned pro rata based on your participation quota. Thanks for listening. For more information, certainly log on to stbb.co.za for more.